Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day number 278 on our war coverage every night in Ukraine, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard here in Pennsylvania, USA, 6 p.m. out in California, most importantly, 4 a.m. in Ukraine. And yes, tonight we do have our partner in crime. He's in here tonight, and I'm looking forward to getting some input from him. He will be sharing quite an interesting day. Many, many things have unfolded, and we will be looking at all of them individually. Additionally, I want to say thank you. Huge shipments came in today for our major shipment we're sending first week of December to Ukraine, which is getting close upon us. So multiple shipments arrived today, and we're very, very thankful. Continue to do that, and we're going to do our part to help. So that's fantastic. Additionally, another gift came in today, and I want to give a big shout out to Bruce Emmerich, actually. Sent in this. It says, resounding courage. United States flag, the American eagle, just courage for being on here every day and telling the truth. So big shout out and big thank you to Bruce Emmerich. Not only did that come in, but man, he delivered a lot of cold weather gear. So that will be on its way to Ukraine. So thank you. Thank you to all the community. Thank you for the moderators. And tonight's going to be fantastic as we look at some very interesting things. And you do not want to miss the very end. The very end is going to be fantastic. Going to send you out of here tonight about 40 minutes from now with truth, hope, and a smile. So we'll get to that. Without any further ado, though, let me get my man in here. Good morning to you, young man.
Good evening.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. We've been following the health of your son, Mark. Let's just go ahead and get that out of the way because people care. How is he?
No one pills today for fighting with the fever. It means that he has a good temperature, normal. And the doctor said we were doing perfectly before. And a couple more days, he'll be fine. So he's okay.
Good.
That's
right
good.
before going
Praise
on,
God.
right before going on tonight, I said, what's his temperature? He said 98.42. I said, you're golden.
Yeah.
So we're very, very happy with that. So, well, Jacob, we got a lot to cover tonight. It's going to be a very interesting update. So let's jump to it. We're going to start right here. Just eyeballs around the world, because we have shared nonstop. You are a Ukrainian, and we know that the war in Ukraine is the most important thing to us right now, but it's not the only thing going on in the world. And I just saw this today, and it just made me think. There's a lot going on in our world. Protest in China over the Charlie 19 lockdowns, protest in Kazakhstan over the government changes, war in Ukraine, riots in Netherlands, riots in Belgium. Of course, that's related to the World Cup, riots in Germany, war in northern Syria, war in northern Iraq, protest in Brazil over the political changes there. I could have went to chaos in the United States. We could have looked at Africa. We could have looked at many, many places, but we see there is a lot happening in our world. And yes, we are focused on Ukraine, but we are sensitive, realizing that there's a whole lot going on in this world that I think is connected to the war in Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah, I think the same way. I think it's the attempt to destabilize. It works different ways. And yes, in Moldova, there is a lot of big movement, pro-Russian people. They're trying to destabilize their system, and in different areas as well. So I think the world is challenging. Will it be possible to stand together, to stand in the logic, to stand in the law, and so on?
So we'll see, but we are aware it's multiple issues going on, and our focus is here, of course. But I personally believe that many, many of them are connected. Now, I'm going to put up this slide, 29th, representing November the 29th, which it's already November the 29th where you're at, November the 28th here still in the United States. We have lots of Australian viewers. It's the 29th there. But President Zelensky Many, many leaders of Ukraine, many, many military people in leadership came out today and said, we are expecting a massive attack, potentially starting on the 29th, which would be today, your time. We'll be watching when we wake up tomorrow, but a lot of things have happened, and they were putting it at a 90% chance that there could be a massive attack from the skies over the next 24 hours. Not just us talking, but they were warning people. Now, with that said, with all the warnings that happen now, will it happen? I don't know, but it's even from the top tier leadership telling the Ukrainians, do not ignore anything. We're expecting a major attack. And that's off their intelligence in the next 24 hours.
Yeah, there is a lot of signs why. Like one of we do expect a bad weather, cloudy weather. And this is the weather Russian terrorists are using for attacking, because it makes it more hard to shoot down their missiles. The first. The second is 7+ days after their last attacks, and this is about that time they need usually to prepare a big quantity, a big strike, because otherwise they would be striking with 7-9 missiles, but every day. But for this day, this is the time when usually, let's say, they're doing it in. There is plus. It's already more than 24 hours. They were different kind of preparation signs. The airplanes were doing it different. Flying different routes, training. Training, refueling something in the air, different things, and we do expect that will be one of the big strikes soon. And I'm sure that right before the New Year date, they will prepare something big, at least for Kiev and maybe west part of Ukraine. The Christmas times for them, and please understand that the Christmas time in Ukraine, it's like in the process of changing, because our calendar a little bit changing.
Right.
Russia is celebrating Christmas mostly in the beginning of December.
January.
And in Ukraine, a lot of people January
6th.
And yes. And in Ukraine, more and more people celebrating January or December 25, 24th. And I think they will prepare.
Sure, probably on both days.
Because this is this is their nature. They will not prepare.
That's what Putin likes. That's what dictators like. They like to hit on certain numbers, certain days, holidays, and the intelligence that Ukraine was getting, and they've given this out. In fact, you have a lot more that we're not able to share with specifics, but airplanes, bombers with these Kinzhals have been flying Belarus and everywhere represented on the map, running refueling routes, running practice routes. It's as if they've been preparing for this next wave of attacks. Additionally, you see the representations of the red battleships or ships at the bottom of the map. We know today that once again, Caliber class naval vessels, the ones that that fire the Caliber class cruise missiles, are back in the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea, and they are loaded. And many people ask, well, how do you know they're there and how do you know they're loaded? Because Ukraine has intelligence going on, and they try to warn their people, and they say these ships are back there and they're loaded. So all the signs point that something's coming potentially over the next 24 hours, and we'll see. We'll be here in 24 hours. Now, with that said, who knows what'll happen? You and I were talking just a little bit earlier. You've been out of power some today, about 4 hours.
Yeah, 4 hours. No
and you
internet.
Still have no internet. We're connecting through other ways, mobile.
Yeah, mobile.
Okay.
A special antenna with amplified antenna.
Yeah, that's how we're connecting tonight. But there is no internet, and power has been out in Khmelnytsky for 4 hours today. Now, I have two more X's on the map. The first one happening right now and over the last couple of hours, pretty large strikes in Dnipro. That would be the X right under the E in the Ukraine name there. What do you know about what's happened in Dnipro tonight?
It's about midnight. They attacked Dnipro, and there is some people. He was wounded, and not only. And I mean, it's a big explosions there. Let's say I don't know. Should we cover it all? But it's big. I mean, really big explosion. So I don't know the attack. What kind of attacks it was? But as
so
a fact,
Dnipro,
it's ready. Sure, it's already.
Well, we know infrastructure. Attacked. We know wounded, civilians wounded. We know it was a large attack, meaning not just one random S-300. It was a large attack in Dnipro. Yes. We do not know if it's a precursor to what we are expecting over the next 24 hours, but it happened at midnight local time. About 4 hours ago is when that multiple missile strikes happened in Dnipro. The other piece I have there is Bakmu continues to be the epicenter of the battles in the east. Russia is trying to surround it. They're trying to take it. Ukraine is defending it. Those are the two key places right now. I'm sure tomorrow night in the update, it's possible our map may look quite a bit different. And folks, when we do not discuss the front lines every night, please understand they're still fighting everywhere on that 1,000-kilometer long front line. We just try to focus on the key areas. Now, I did get some video today from Bakmu, 20, 30 seconds. And they're saying that Bakmu is starting to look like Mariupol, everything destroyed. So I'll share that now. If you want to know what Bakmu looked like today in the daylight, here it is. Terrible. Everything destroyed.
Yeah,
everything.
I think it's and they're trying to do it to use it. I think they trying to use the Bakhmut as a place where Ukraine spends a lot of shells, and we have a problem with the shells, and because a lot of our, let's say, partners country who support us and they said we cannot supply you nonstop, and Russia knows it because the Bakhmut, they're trying to attract as much more forces to that places. I don't think they will push hard there. I mean, or our guys will allow them. But we spend a lot of let's say
a lot of resources,
and we spend a lot of resources
spent to defend Bakmu.
I don't know the quantity, just like for Kherson, for example, during this week, the Kherson was attacked 258 times. During the week. Think about that. Yeah, yes, and I don't know about Bakhmut, the numbers, but it's really a tough place.
And you say that Kherson was attacked 258 times.
A week.
It's hard to even comprehend. In a week, correct.
Yes.
Hard to even comprehend. And so that's why, that's the video out of Bakmut. And when I received the video, it says, Bakmut beginning to look like Mariupol number 2. And it's a tragedy. Now, we try to bring confirmation to stories as we share them. We continue to follow things like the strike in Poland, and we stand behind that. Additionally, a few days ago, we shared that it looks like the foreign minister of Belarus died unexpectedly, was poisoned. And today, it came out, confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
He was poisoned. So I know that one of our viewers, Rick Berry, loves to give us understanding of the KGB mentality. It's absolutely KGB. Also, another viewer that's faithful in here each night, his name is Donald Gentilini, giving shout out to you. He worked in that entire region based out of Romania in the 80s during the heyday of the Soviet Union. And he's in here each night, pounding it. World, listen to these guys. Listen to these guys. This is what's trying to happen all over again. Well, there's some validation for you fellas. This gentleman, was poisoned. And that's a fact. Something's going to happen there. Something's going to happen.
Some sources concerning that situation, and this says that right after that, in a day or two, the Lukashenko started to change all his most close people to him. I mean, the cookers, the chiefs there, people who were like near him. Right now, 100% are being changed. Why? There was a reason. There was a way.
There was a way that guy was poisoned.
Yeah. And yes, we do expect the next steps, but the confirmation said that Lukashenko got it as a sign and say, hey, we're close.
Which for me means, honestly, fall into line with what the Kremlin wants to do, or you're next.
Yes.
That's the message.
Yeah.
That's the message.
Yeah, that's the message.
That's the message.
What do I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's go to another one. We keep following this story all the time. Zaporizhia nuclear power plant completely closed again. This story goes back and forth, closed again. The only people that can get on that property have to have a signed contract with Rosatom. That means no outside observers anymore, no IAEA, nobody. You have to have a contract with Rosatom. And I think also personally, this is in direct reference to the rumors that were out there that the Russian forces were going to leave the nuclear power plant. They're not leaving the nuclear power plant. This is one of their sweet spots to hold on to for this war, for not only propaganda, but also for terrorism. They're not going to walk away from it. So I think that this was also a part to communicate to the world, no, this is ours and you can't touch it.
I think they somehow they will need to leave it. Why? There is a couple projects of Rosatom outside of Russia, including European and Turkish, seems to me, projects. And if they will not leave, they will get under sanctions there. And those projects will be in a risk zone. So I think there should be something middle, the decision for which will be okay for Russia and let's say civilized world. And yes, and coming to Zaporizhia, I don't know, did you mention about the bridge today?
I did not.
40 kilometers from Melitopol, it's Zaporizhia area, let's say, the village Stara Bogdanivka, there were a bridge and our guys destroyed it today. The bridge, which was used for supplying Russian army that area. And I think it's important. It's important for strategy, our guys doing, because it was a lot of supply for the army, for the units they were using, transporting by that bridge. So we will see what will be the next. The bridges, it's arterials, which is, vitally important for Russia.
Well, this will be interesting to follow. We will be following it. I personally don't think Russia will leave Zaporizhia nuclear power plant for anything. I don't think they care about sanctions. You look at it a little differently. That's okay, because they're not just going to leave it without having something happen. This is, in my opinion, a strategical point for them, but we'll see. I honestly think, and especially with where we're going to go next, they do not care what the world thinks. And I have a couple of illustrations of that tonight. And we can go there now. We'll go there with this first one. First of all, Russia responded to the European Parliament. We were happy a few days ago. The European Parliament stated and marked Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism in 30-0 vote. Very happy about that. So this is a little bit of my validation. I'll show this, then get your response. Here is Peskov speaking, of course, for Putin. Response.
Европарламент – это такая организация, которая скорее основывает свою работу на эмоциях, на эмоциональном подходе. Конечно, не секрет для нас, что в последние годы Европарламент не питал особой любви к нам. В ответ мы не питали особого желания принимать во внимание происходящее там и, скажем так, принимать это близко к сердцу. Та ситуация, когда такая оголтелая русофобия, ненависть к России просто льется через край, это не носит какого-то юридически обязывающего характера. Вот так к этому и надо относиться.
So that's their view. This is kind of why I don't think they care about contracts. I don't think they care about sanctions. Because evidently they don't work. And here, they definitely don't care about the European Parliament. So what? We don't care.
Yeah, I agree with that, like about the caring, but they're trying somehow to make world listening them, like using the Nord Stream 2 and so on, because they will, okay, if on this moment they used like 25% of their year's budget. It depends. I mean, if they will be isolated financially, but Russia were preparing, they made countries depending on them.
I think they will make movements and adjustments in the South and the East, like with physical locations such as ZNPP, when they have destroyed Ukraine so much on the infrastructure that it doesn't even matter anymore. That's my timing. That's what I think. We'll see. I don't think they care at all. And there's another reason I'm going to give you. You don't know what's coming completely. No. Take a look at this. We often talk about the propaganda programs, whether it's Solovyov or any of the other nut jobs, but I think we need to share with the world tonight that it's not just the propaganda programs, the news talk shows, but even on their regular news, which everybody watches, the propaganda rolls. So here it is, straight on their news program. Just further validation. I don't think they care what anybody in the world thinks personally.
После этого из особо важных берутся те, которые моментально влияют на жизнеспособность всего государства. Вот как сегодня хлестанули по энергетике, это влияет на жизнеспособность государства? Кардинально влияет. Мне сегодня говорят, там нет воды, нет тепла, все туфта. Промышленность стала, вот самое главное, та промышленность, которая работала и зарабатывала деньги, раз. Та промышленность, которая ремонтировала и производила вооружение, она производила? Производила. Два. И та промышленность, которая была в состоянии что-то еще делать. Все, стоит. Это главное на сегодняшний день, а все остальное побочный эффект. Второй момент, который будет, мне говорят, надо бомбить мосты. Говорю, ребята, вы понимаете, что бомбить мосты на один мост надо грубо там 10 ракет, ну из расчета. А если ударить центр управления железными дорогами, то нужна одна ракета.
Почему не бьем?
Почему не бьем? Значит, опять вспоминаем приоритетность, да? Вот сейчас работаем по всей энергосистеме. До конца добьем. Дальше же есть не только логистика. К примеру, банковская инфраструктура. Сейчас разбомбить центр банковских операций. Все встало. То есть ничего никуда не переведешь, карта не работает, где получку не...
These are the statement. That's on a regular news program at night where they're talking to, and that guy is from the State Duma, okay? Russian State Duma. This is why I think they don't care. They openly talk now about destroying civilian activity. A banking center has nothing to do with a military target. Okay, take out the rail center. They're talking about civilian rail targets. They would love to take out the Central Vokzal or train station in Kyiv. They would love it. It'd be their goal. This is my point.
Yeah.
I don't think they care what the world thinks, personally.
Yeah. Okay. I think, yes, this is their ideas. I'm sure they will not put down our banking system. Our country has a little bit different system. Maybe they think, and much more ready maybe than they think. For the reality, our banks already did something to prepare people and helping people to survive this time. And yes, all the banks were thinking about the cashing, the withdrawal, and helping people to get it in time. Plus, it's already there is a special regulation in the preparation for tax for the bank system. People already there is advices. You can go to get a heat there and the hot drinks there. There are other places you can go, or maybe the same, or plus other like a small businesses or responsible businesses, as they call, are encouraged to give people possibility to charge their phones for free, and it's working. Plus, for the banks and like hospitals, there is the other functions. It is already discussed and published, and people instructed what to do and how to use it, and which banks will be working and which will not. And so this is reality. And Russia probably, those people doesn't understand that. They will not get the success. Plus, it probably could be a bad surprise, but the strategic factories, they're strategically protected, even the electricity supply. We do our best, let's say.
I agree.
Example, the test connection to, seems to me, Romanian
Yes.
electric chains. It is just for testing, but we're preparing.
Ukraine connected to Romania for a test. It happened in the last 24
Romania.
hours, and it was a successful test. And 100% we are in agreement. Ukraine is prepared. They're ready for anything that Russia's going to throw out. We're ready, and we will respond. No question. I just don't think Russia cares about anything. But we're prepared. I want to give a big shout out tonight to the nation of Latvia. Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, the 3 Baltic states have been a wonderful ally of Ukraine during this war. And volunteers and regular Latvian citizens have been providing many vehicles to be used on the front lines in the war zones throughout Ukraine. Have a video tonight. Guy interviewed on Ukrainian news from Latvia. Some of the work they've been doing. Very cool. Thank you, Latvia.
Ну да, мы общаемся напрямую с ребятами на передовой. Конечно, запросы, ничего не изменилось с первого дня. Это джипы, пикапы, бусы. Это машины, и мы пытаемся покупать. Но у нас из этих 900 машин, примерно половина машин просто пожертвованные машины, которые люди просто привезли и пожертвовали. Мы берем любые машины, потому что они нужны в любом, так сказать, этапе и волонтерам, и врачам, и военным передвигаться не на фронте, скажем так. А покупаем мы именно, да, по запросам то, что точно нужно, говорю, пикапы, джипы, бусы, полноприводные. И да, но, к сожалению, как я говорю, мы делаем дело, которым 90% остаются недовольны, потому что мы не можем как бы все просьбы удовлетворить. И если мы отправили 900 машин, то, наверное, 9000 их нужно как минимум, да, и всем не хватает, к сожалению.
Да, но и так вы очень много уже сделали. Это действительно титанический труд собрать такое количество техники. Скажите, пожалуйста, ваш проект, который вы сейчас ведете, как вы его видите в будущем? Как он будет долго существовать и как он мог бы измениться?
Ну, каждое утро я просыпаюсь, открываю новости, надеюсь, что не нужен больше проект, но, к сожалению, все еще нужен. И я думаю, что будем все делать до победы, пока это нужно будет. И, ну, судя по тому, что народ до сих пор очень активно жертвует машины, по-моему, у нас уже, ну, как бы народная традиция, когда ты машину, ну, хочешь менять, ты ее не продаешь, а отправляешь в Украину.
Tell you what, bud, that's super cool. And we've seen,
what the people. Mm-hmm.
There's one other thing that I want to draw attention to there. You ready for this one?
Okay.
That guy's in Latvia organizing this, volunteer, like what we do. We have the what we do. Well, he's doing cars. Everybody's working together. But that was the Central News out of Kyiv interviewing him.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I appreciate. And this is what the world doesn't know. Do not listen to any of the propaganda trash out of Russia. It's about language. They were talking to that guy in Russian. And that interview, he was replying in Russian. It was translated, of course, with the English subtitles. So that was the Russian language being spoken. They wasn't screaming, they were communicating. I appreciate that personally. It tells the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the truth is important, and the reality is important. I mean that, the language. Okay, we have friends in Lithuania. He's helping regularly and nonstop. And his name seems to me Evaldas. Evaldas. Evaldas, hello. And nonstop, he's ready for. He's answering. We're requesting. We need parts. He's answering. The black van we have was broken in Vilnius one day. He put aside all his his own business and everything. They were fixing it as soon as possible, like like a NASCAR. And yes, they're this way. They're brothers staying together. It's incredible.
Now for our international viewers, they may not understand this, but did you just say NASCAR?
Yeah.
How do you know about a NASCAR pit stop? Did I teach you that?
Next question.
Okay, next question. But speaking about the language, as we do this each night, this is off script. I have the script in front of me for what I want to cover with you, but I can appreciate it because I do not speak Ukrainian, little words here and there, but Russian. So when we're traveling on the front lines and we go and we meet with soldiers and they're communicating Ukrainian, this is what you always say. Let's speak in Russian so Greg can talk with us, or he can hear, he can understand. And there's never one time does anybody go, oh no, we're only going to speak Ukrainian, or no, they're appreciative that we're there. Sorry, it's the only way I can communicate to you. So the truth's coming out. This is about right and wrong, and right is right and wrong is wrong.
With that reality, who can claim and blame Ukraine that, okay, the war is started because Ukrainians are hating the Russian language and it's forbidden to talk in Russian and blah, blah, blah. Look, how many Russian-speaking people are on Ukrainian main channels right now, fights, and support and communicates and being interviewed, and they are from different parts of the world. And what language problem? I believe it's the national language. Yes, it's number one. It's important to know, but reality and the truth is not about that. Russia is aggression. aggressor, and we will fight any language we can. We will use. I can speak Chinese if it be helping my country to win the war and to get all of these occupants out. That's it.
Well, speaking of that, let's go to a big question tonight. Who is the number one supplier? What nation is the number one supplier of military equipment to Ukraine? Do you know?
Yeah, sorry. I would like to say like United States to answer, or like Germany, but there is a reality. At this moment, for the technique, I mean the tanks, especially heavy technique, like MLRR systems, artillery, and the different cars, trucks, but especially armored vehicles and the tanks is who is the winning in this at this moment. The number one supplier is Russia.
We got a great Lend-Lease program with Russia. That's the big joke that happens throughout Ukraine. Thank you for the Lend-Lease program. And you know, when I was there, and I know when you're out running the front, you always see captured Russian equipment. I mean, everywhere we went, some Ukrainian big truck or a tank was dragging a Russian tank or dragging a troop carrier with the V on it or the Z on it. They're going to repair it and use it against Russia. So we've seen it, but this is some statistics that came out today. Russia has donated or allowed to increase the technic abilities of Ukraine through capture and destruction: 525 tanks, 1,070 armored vehicles, 188 pieces of artillery, 51 MLRS rocket systems, 25 air defense pieces, 503 vehicles, and one helicopter. Speaking of a helicopter, Great Britain sent some, and we're very thankful for that, for Great Britain sending some helicopters, but we're talking about over $1 billion here worth of equipment. So thank you, Russia, for supplying Ukraine. They are the number one supplier to the Ukrainian defense fund.
Yeah, to be honest, it helps.
It does help. It does help. And, you know, we can attest to it and witness everywhere we would go and everywhere you go. You see them dragging the Russian equipment. It's reality. This is true stuff, folks. Now, this graphic here, and I want you to explain this. We know that we've had over 4,000 like cruise missile caliber type missile strikes. We know that we've had thousands of S-300s. We've also had MLRS systems being fired. But for 9 months, the numbers now, if you include all of that, over 16,000 firings at our territory, 12,300 on suburban area and villages, 1,900 at homes or houses, the big residential buildings, 500 plus military objects, 250 transport infrastructure, bridges, etc., 220 energy infrastructures, and 800 others. That's a lot to be defended and a lot of strikes.
Yeah, and what is important in this statistic, we can see it's 97% of all of these missile strikes, from all of these missiles, 97%, it was civilian targets.
What did the Russian ambassador to Great Britain say, though, in perfect English? We do not attack civilians.
No.
97.
No, in his mind.
Correct. 97% of the attacks are against civilian infrastructure items, correct?
Yeah, 97. According to the same source,
it's Ukrainian defense. It's from the Ukrainian general staff. Who are we supposed to listen to?
Yeah.
We supposed to listen to Solovyov? No, we listen to Ukraine. And that's what they say, and that's what we trust. Now, another reason. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I just the fact that Russians sometimes they pervert, they changing, manipulate with all the news, and sometimes they are so involved in that, so excited that it's already many times they use their own technique. They're showing it. Look, we destroyed Ukrainian technique, and then even there are people who, hey, there is a Z on that. Oh, really?
We didn't see the Z. Sorry, we forgot to wipe that off.
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
The mind, it's like gone. That's it. Now, earlier in the program, about 20 minutes ago, we were talking about Zaporizhia nuclear power plants. Russia going to leave. You said, well, I can see them leaving for this reason. I'm saying, I don't think they're going to leave at all. And we both have our views there, but we agree on the same thing, what's happening. Here's another reason I don't think they're going anywhere and they don't care. Right here. Today, Russia is supposed to be meeting with the United States. Has nothing to do with the war in Ukraine, has nothing to do with things that are happening in the world other than a scheduled meeting between the two number one nuclear powers in the world, Russia and United States, over nuclear contracts, nuclear understanding for the world. Russia canceled that meeting, said we will not meet right now, and we do not know when to schedule the meeting. So I just have the opinion they don't care about anything right now, right this minute.
But I think soon they will leave Ugledar area. They will leave the left side of the Dnipro River. Soon they will be, I hope they will be locked on the Crimea island, and then it will be new chapter.
I agree.
This is what do I expect. Our guys.
What's going to cause that?
Yes, big price, incredible price.
What's going to cause, and you folks are getting to see me and Zhenya get at it tonight. What is going to cause Ukraine to be able to push Russia out completely? What's it going to take?
It's I don't know. I don't know what Russia will answer, what they will do on that.
What's it going to take for Ukraine to kick them out?
Weapon.
Thank you. Thank you. None of this is prepped. Weapons.
And weapon.
Once again, then explain this.
Oh, the Patriots. Okay. The Germany, after the situation with after Russian attack on the Polish territory, and with Germany as a NATO country, the part of the NATO alliance, they said, okay, we will send our Patriots to Poland, where they would put it there and to protect their borders. Poland say, okay, much more effective will be to send it to Ukraine. And we think it's there is more reason and much more effective because in reality, it will be stopping Russian missiles, but the range will be not just 100 kilometers from the Polish border, but it can cover about 300 kilometers. And what Germany answered after that? Thank you, Poland. And then Germany said, no, not possible. It's okay. They could say it like this. No. We don't like this idea because it's nothing about Ukrainians. It's nothing about protecting Ukraine. Forget about protecting Ukraine. It should be on a NATO country territory, and we don't care how much it will be saving the life, because it's it's not they told. They said it, okay, it's the weapon of NATO, so the alliance, all the NATO partners should be discussed it before, because it should be standing on a country, on the territory of NATO country. Okay.
So, listen, we agree, but we see this just a little bit differently, and that's okay because that's what makes it interesting. I agree.
Yeah.
Ukraine is going to win the war. I agree.
Yes.
Ukraine is going to push the invaders completely out.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at this map right here. This is how much territory is occupied right now. This is the day 278 updated official map. This is where the battles are raging. This is what's going on. I agree completely. I agree at some point Russia is going to leave the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. But there's two things I just personally feel. They're going to try to cripple Ukraine as much as possible before they leave anywhere now. Okay? Because they've been reinforcing the left bank with infrastructure on the roads and the systems to cause Ukraine basically an impossible route to pursue them. So you can see they're going to leave. That's a given. But I think the only way we win this war, and they're pushed out not only of the 4 regions on the mainland there, but Crimea as well, is that the world must supply Ukraine with weapons to destroy them. And until we get more weapons, I just don't think Russia is going to give up much more, personally, without being defeated.
There is a thought and a fear in the world that, we are supplying too much weapon to Ukraine. And it shouldn't be like that, because Ukraine will become the country with the biggest quantity of weapon in Europe and so on. But the question is, what country should stop the Russia, the country with that size and with that character, with that mission to wiping out the nations? They're doing it nonstop already. Years and years and years. Yes, and I believe this should be like this. Doesn't matter. Will be a gift or borrow it to us, sell it to us. Doesn't matter. We need the weapon to stop aggressor. And if world already admitted this is aggressor, okay, do next step, please.
You asked a great question. Who should be helping us? Talking about the militarization of Ukraine, how much and what supply of arms they will have. So who should be helping us? Who should be doing this to help manage this situation to get the occupier out? My answer for that would be simple. You've answered it 1,000 times in 278 days of streaming, and that would be the nations that guaranteed the security of Ukraine upon them giving up their nuclear weapons in 1994. First and foremost, the United States, Great Britain, Germany, and France. They should be the nations kicking Russia out of Ukraine, because they gave their word that they would protect the sovereign borders, and to this point, they've not done that. I'll leave it there. They've not done that. They are the guaranteeing nations. Forget NATO. The U.S., Great Britain, Germany, and France said, we got you. They will not come across your borders. 1994. And this is what we have.
If those countries will take responsibility, it will make those countries getting back their image as a great countries with responsibility in this world. The second one, it will be stopping or holding the future project of getting nuclear weapon for other countries, because at this moment they are watching, and if all of these countries who are close and saying, okay, we will take care of you, just give to Russia your nuclear weapon. If they will do nothing, then the next step, expect 30 countries, more countries with a nuclear weapon, and nobody will guarantee.
Correct. Why do you think
how it be used?
Why do you think Iran is so bold, North Korea is basically firing rockets almost daily. China's doing what it wants to do. It is because there is no leadership nation in the world stepping up and saying it's not happening. And I'm sorry, it should be the United States. But we are so weak and divided and in such chaos, we can't even provide decent leadership to the world because we can't even protect our own southern border. And this is not about American politics. This is about Ukraine. But if we can't even take care of our own country, how are we going to help the world? Not happening, and we're watching it. And as you said, it's going to be a prophetic statement. Watch, if this is not ended, the other nations in the world going nuts. So we'll see. We'll see.
Then the world will not be deciding how to fix, how to find a solution with the helping Ukraine to stop that kind of aggression. But it's absolutely possible they will be looking how to fight against of 4 or 5 countries.
That's exactly right.
With a nuclear weapon in every of it. Doesn't matter if it's like.
Remember, we do believe the Bible is going to happen sometime. It's going to happen, and we may be witnessing it. All right, let's go here. We're going to end, as I promised everybody at the end of the stream, this when we began, a smile. Now, this one's interesting. I want to introduce you guys tonight, and Zhenya gave me these pictures right before we went on the stream. Introduce you guys tonight to a guy named Dimitri Rogozin. And just a little while ago, he stated that NATO, this is a couple of months ago, he was interviewed. He said NATO is waging an undeclared war against Russia. Who is? NATO. Using the Ukrainian army and national battalions as cannon fodder. According to the head of Roscosmos, Dimitri Rogozin, the special military operation has long gone beyond its scope. So, pretty well-known guy there, yes?
The head of Roscosmos, he was telling that if not, the world will not using the Russian rockets to get the cosmos, then they will be using trampolines to get there.
So just people may not know it because they don't know the language, but Roscosmos, this is the guy that's in the top dog for the space for
yes,
like the equivalent of our NASA. Okay, that's the top dog. Okay, very important guy. But the first sentence again, NATO is waging an undeclared war. Now we got a few pictures of Dimitri equipped now today within the last couple of days, dressed in military gear to go and do whatever he was going to do, maybe go visit troops or he's not on a front line fighting, but he's doing something to visit troops. And let's take a look at how old Dimitri, who said NATO is our enemy, is heading to the battle. Here he is dressed up. Let's take a look now. We'll start at the top. Okay. He has a helmet. And that is made by Russia. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one cost 117,000 rubles. Now we go down to his, what is that? His carabiner and equipment there? Tactical. His coat.
Where?
Kurtka.
Yeah, it's a coat.
His tactical coat. Sorry, it's hard for me to read. I got eye issues. His tactical coat.
Okay.
He bought that from Austria.
Yes.
That's Austrian.
Country.
Okay.
Then,
all right.
Then plate carrier.
All right.
Plate carrier.
His plate carrier is
made in NATO country, Turkey.
Made in Turkey.
Yeah.
Okay, and then his magazines for his MP5, his submachine gun, are made in
Germany, NATO country. Yeah, because he fights with NATO.
Wait, he also has a SCAR. That's his AR, his rifle, and it's his clips for that are made in Belgium, and
Yeah,
The
in United States. It's
Okay.
NATO.
NATO.
Because he fights with the NATO.
Okay, now here he is. Let's see.
Yeah.
His Glock.
Tactical shoes.
Okay, let's go on the
okay.
right side. His technical shoes, his boots are made in Slovakia.
Slovakia, NATO country.
Go to the left picture. He has a Glock pistol made in Australia.
Austria.
I'm sorry, Austria. Sorry.
Austria. It's a NATO country.
And then he has his AR-15 is made in the United States.
Yeah. So he's 100% pro-Russian, which fights with
NATO
in his patriot with his fight with the NATO, and this is why he's buying everything from NATO countries.
Can you see the madness, folks? It's all NATO. They're our enemy. Can you send me an AR from the U.S.? I need boots. Those Austrian boots. Man, they're good. Give me some of those. Bulletproof vest. Who makes good ones? Turkey. Get me one of those.
Yeah.
Because I want a Glock. I want a Glock.
Yeah.
Call that guy. Call my friend in Austria. Make sure I get a Glock.
Why not Kalashnikov? Why not TT?
Thank you. Well, little smile
why
to
not
end
the
on.
Same? Yeah, sorry, but this is reality. And yes, people in Russia are looking for the ways how to get anything like something good from NATO countries because they need something real. And in effect, in reality, and their propaganda on their TV is saying that they have everything where the world has nothing like that. They have number one everything, and they won everything, let's say, and they are second army in the world, but number one is an empire, and the only country has no borders. This is the Putin's word. The Russia has no borders.
No borders. Just make sure I get that Turkish plate carrier and that American AR and that Glock from Austria.
Yeah,
I'm good to go. And the Slovakian
then I
boots.
Yeah, then I can be a good Russian soldier.
Then I can be. But I've got a helmet. It's made in Moscow.
Yeah, the helmet.
So, all right, my friend. This was a great update tonight. Okay. People got to see us have a little conversation. It was good. We're fully updated tonight. Yeah.
Tomorrow we'll share it. On the way, the new boxes of the tactical medicine, and it's going. We are helping to our guys. Tomorrow, I think I will send you some maybe pictures or video.
Look forward to sharing it. Additionally, folks, thank you for being here on day 278. We have a few more days before we'll be putting our shipment out. It'll head through New Jersey. We'll use a company called Meast, and we'll get it over to Warsaw, Poland, and then we'll pick it up, load it, and carry it into Ukraine. So thank you. There's still time. You're more than welcome to see the description, hit the Amazon list. It's been updated. And, of course, always donate financially as we talk about. Much, much appreciation. We'll see what happens. Thanks, boss.
Thank you.
Rest well.
Thank you for
staying
with Ukraine.
Now, show everybody that actually comes from your bank, right?
Yeah.
There we go. Glory to Ukraine. There's the sinking of the
Moscow.
But this is sent out by your bank, just saying stand with our nation.
Because
where's the bank logo?
Yeah, and
stand with Ukraine. There it is. Monobank. Yep.
Monobank.
Folks, it's great. Why we love Ukraine, and we're standing together. All right, my man. Thank you. We'll see you in 23 hours.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Much appreciated. Good night to all.
To all a good night.